Good evening. An 18-year-old man has been identified as the victim of a deadly shooting early yesterday morning, and the alleged shooter was also hit by gunfire.
Investigators have now linked a shooting on King West with the death of the teen who walked into a hospital in North York a short time later. CTV Sean Leithong is live tonight in North York with the latest. Sean.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, it was 5:23 yesterday morning when an 18-year-old man walked into Humber River Hospital here, and he later died. Police are now alleging that that person may have been part of a group that shot at the man who is now accused in his murder.
What was initially reported as a shooting is now known to have been a deadly shootout in Toronto's entertainment district. An 18-year-old man is dead, and a 27-year-old has been charged with second-degree murder. It was 4:45 Tuesday when police received a report of shots fired along King Street just west of Spadina. According to police, a man was approached by a group of men who discharged firearms. That man was struck in the leg. Police going on to say that once he was shot, that man drew a firearm and began shooting back. Toronto police saying the man who was shot in the leg was treated at the scene and was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. At 5:23 a.m., another man, 18-year-old Dylan Adams, was dropped off at Humber River Hospital in North York. Adams died in hospital. Yesterday, despite being asked, police did not reveal that there was a connection between the two.
I can't speak to an exchange of gunfire, whether there was or wasn't one right now. No, right now there's no indication whatsoever that would connect either of the two scenes or locations. If at some point in time that does change, then our members from our Homicide and Missing Persons Unit will update the media accordingly.
Police announcing today that 27-year-old Frandy Knoll of Toronto has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He was to appear in court this morning. Police would not answer questions regarding this incident today.
And police did not say why exactly the victim ended up here so many kilometers from the shooting scene. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leithong. Nathan and Michelle, send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. A TTC employee has been taken to hospital with serious injuries following a stabbing at Dundas subway station. This happened shortly after 1 p.m. on Dundas near Yonge. Both the victim and the suspect were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was later taken into custody. The circumstances leading up to the stabbing remain under investigation. The TTC has described the act as unacceptable.
And as it so happens, just prior to that stabbing, police, in partnership with the city, announced officers will be deployed on the transit system.
It's part of an expansion of the neighborhood community officer program. As CTV's Janice Golding reports, 4 new areas in the city will now have embedded officers working to foster better relationships with residents.
Yeah, we had a shooting happened here.
For the past 3 years, Constable Deborah Young has been a neighborhood community officer in the Weston Pelham Park area of 11 Division.
How are you?
One of 4 embedded in 11 Division, including Constable George Race, working to address safety concerns.
Did you know on the floors broken window?
No, I didn't. On the 8th floor?
And build trust in police in neighborhoods the city has identified as vulnerable.
That looks like chicken and rice.
Constable Young visits schools, is involved in a youth program, and ensures food is delivered once a week to buildings that face food insecurity.
There's too much stars in the sky that the appreciation we have for her, the sky cannot hold enough stars.
This is exactly the kind of community-centered policing that Chief Myron Demke says the city needs more of.
People know them by their first names. Their role is to address and prevent issues. For example, if they learn that 2 individuals have been in conflict and there's going to be ongoing tension between them, they can work with both parties to de-escalate and prevent violence.
That's why today the chief announced an expansion of the program, which was first launched in 2013 to involve 60 of Toronto's 158 neighborhoods.
They get to know people over time and build trust. When that happens, crime goes down and people feel safer.
16 officers will serve 4 new areas, including Dufferin Grove, Banbury Don Mills, Victoria Village, Wexford Maryvale, and Etobicoke City Centre.
We don't have to call 911 for challenges that we see happening. We're able to call someone directly. Enforcement isn't always the first measure. It's trying to understand a situation.
Beyond that, the NCOs will now work on the Yonge subway line. 8 officers will work collaboratively with TTC special constables to help vulnerable communities and those in crisis on the transit system. 7 days a week, 4 officers will cover Bloor North to Eglinton, and 4 more will cover Wellesley South to Union.
In the face of a rapidly changing world that's more and more challenging, and a world outside of our system that brings challenges, it's more critical than ever that we partner to support the people inside and on our system.
On the window, a board, you got to put something on it.
NCOs like Constable Deborah Young working on collaborative safety solutions within the community.
My day is so full of helping people in the community, and it's just wonderful.
Working to make the communities they serve safer, better places to live. In all, the force is adding 24 new neighborhood community officers who will begin work before year's end. Each will be embedded in one community for at least 4 years. Janice Golding, CTV News.
And still ahead tonight, new numbers shine a light on Ontario's economy. We'll tell you how hard the manufacturing sector has been hit and the impact it's having on the overall economy.
Building a toy mountain takes a lot of work and is done brick by brick.
And what better place to build than Legoland at Vaughan Mills? And that's where we find our Lindsay Morrison tonight. Ooh, it's going to be a fun night, Lindsay.
I see what you did there, Nathan and Michelle. This is the perfect place to build a toy mountain brick by brick. And we are on our way to building a toy mountain. We've got a fantastic crowd here at Legoland Discovery Center in Vaughan. Noel, thanks for having us out again. We look forward to this every single year. Why is it so great for you to partner with Toy Mountain?
We're just happy that you're back, and welcome back. We're really excited. Yeah, it's just a great time of the year, great time to share, great time to be generous. So we're very happy to have you here, and yeah, we're going to build Toy Mountain together.
Yeah, when we think toys, so many of us think Lego, and this is a great place to maybe pick up a gift for a tween. We're always looking for toys in need. Kids, show the toys that you brought here. Look at these fantastic donations. We are going to be celebrating these wonderful young people and everyone else who has gathered here today to help us get this mountain built. But we also have to talk a little bit about the weather. So let's begin with a look at our watches and warnings. You know, it's pretty active out there for tonight, tomorrow, and the day after that. We've got snow squall watches in place. There's a bit of a difference in the way Environment Canada now presenting these advisories. So areas in orange at moderate severe risk, and then the areas in yellow at the risk for some hazardous snow squalls as well. Here's a look at what we can expect as we make our way into the rest of the night tonight. Gusty winds, special weather statement remains in place for the city of Toronto, and a wind warning for the Niagara area. Those winds are already pretty gusty. The sustained winds gusty enough, and then stronger still as we look at what we can expect through the overnight hours too. On the satellite and radar, we're starting to see a little bit of snow start to bubble up in parts of the GTA. Flurries will be part of our weather story for the next little while here. Lake effect bands going to be impacting us into tonight and tomorrow. The temperature has dropped significantly. We went from a high of 11 degrees today. Overnight tonight, it's going to feel like -7 once you factor in the winds. And yes, we've got some flurries expected through the overnight hours too. Again, we are here live at Legoland Discovery Center where we are building a toy mountain. And we've got some really wonderful people helping us do just that. Lots more to come this hour. For now, Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. We'll check in later. Well, still to come, at least 36 people have died and nearly 300 are missing after the worst fire Hong Kong has seen in nearly 30 years. We'll have the latest just ahead. But first, Ontario's Financial Accountability Office has released its latest data on the province's economy.
CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris takes a closer look at the numbers.
There's the government bluster.
We continue to be a manufacturing powerhouse.
Numbers from Ontario's Financial Accountability Office tell a different story.
Autos has been down an awful lot. Same with steel production.
Machinery, too. The budget watchdog says you have to go back to 2015 to find lower manufacturing activity. Almost 21,000 jobs lost in 2 years.
Pintos and Mavericks, and they sell well.
Manufacturing jobs now make up the smallest share of Ontario's employment since 1976.
1976, I was putting Sean Cassidy posters on my wall in 1976.
U.S. tariffs are hitting hard, but so is upheaval in the auto industry with retooling and shifting EV priorities.
This premier is a jobs disaster.
A label the government rejects.
We have more manufacturing jobs than Florida and New York, and are third only in all of North America to California and Texas.
Under the cloud of tariffs, the FAO says Ontario's GDP shrank by 0.6% in the second quarter.
The largest since the 2008-2009 recession, excluding the pandemic.
Almost 29% of those who are unemployed have been unable to find work for at least 27 weeks.
That's the highest number we have since the 1990s. So that's just an indication of the difficulties folks are having in the job market right now.
Opposition parties say it's a problem the government doesn't seem to have a real solution for.
They like to put something in the window that looks great, but what actually happens inside doesn't really work.
The Green leader holds up Ontario's approach to EVs as an example.
They brought in a plan to produce more electric vehicles, but then they canceled all the programs to make electric vehicles actually affordable.
The finance minister trumpets $30 billion of tariff support.
Just this quarter, $2 billion of WSIB rebates are flowing into small business, medium-sized businesses.
The FAO says Ontario may avoid a technical recession. That's back-to-back quarters of GDP decline. The NDP says that's cold comfort to those who are suffering right now. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Over in Hamilton, police are searching for two suspects in an alleged hate-motivated assault. Police have released images of the two suspects. They say the alleged incident happened early in the morning on October 25th on Hess Street. Investigators say several people assaulted a member of the transgender community. They're asking anyone with information to come forward.
Here in Toronto, police are asking for your help identifying this woman. Now, she's accused of assaulting two females inside a taxi near King and Portland early Saturday morning. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are asking anyone with any details to get in touch. Impaired driving continues to be an issue on our roads, and it's not just what drivers have had to drink or smoke.
A new study is offering insight into the impact of edible cannabis can have on young drivers. CTV's Beth McDonnell has the details.
From chocolate to gummies, there are people consuming cannabis edibles and getting behind the wheel.
There is still this misconception that cannabis makes you a safer driver, or it doesn't have an impact on driving, or it's not as dangerous as alcohol-impaired driving, when in reality, impaired is impaired.
Now, a new study conducted by the University of Saskatchewan with support from CAA is shedding light on the timing and effects of driving high with these products. Drivers between the ages of 19 and 30 were examined after taking about 10 milligrams of THC.
They got an edible in a controlled setting and were put on the driving simulator just to see what those impacts were, and then measuring that over time to see if they were driving at, say, 90 minutes, 2.5 hours, 4 or 6 hours. Were those effects still there? And through the study, we learned that, yes, those effects were there.
The findings reveal as soon as 90 minutes after taking the edible, participants had their speeding control, lane discipline, and reaction time impacted. And almost 1/3 of participants using the simulator were in a collision.
If you inhale it, the effect is somewhat more immediate, whereas with edibles, it can be sometimes quite delayed.
Mad Canada says it's important to remember edibles are very different from inhaling cannabis. It says sometimes people can take an edible but don't feel the effect right away, then go on to take more and more, and the high doesn't kick in until they're on the road. It says young people are more prone to this lack of knowledge.
You can see that they're vastly overrepresented in crash deaths and fatalities because they sort of have that air of invincibility, though I'm a young person, nothing is going to happen to me.
Toronto police say in 2025, drugs represent about 10% of impaired driving arrests, a trend which has been steady for the past few years.
Don't drive after consuming drugs. Just don't do it. You will not understand the level of impairment.
CAA says its own study in Ontario this year showed 20% of drivers admitted to taking cannabis before getting behind the wheel, with research pointing to the growing issue of polyuse. This is when people combine cannabis with alcohol and increasingly other drugs, from painkillers to MDMA.
Especially ahead of the holiday season, to always drive sober. And if your plans do involve consuming alcohol or cannabis, that you're not the one that will be driving.
CAA says edibles are the most common and preferred form of cannabis consumption. It wants the education on its effects out there so behavior changes. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
The TTC is proposing a fare freeze in 2026, even as the transit agency faces budget issues. The plan to freeze fares for a third straight year was revealed during the 2026 operating budget presentation. The TTC says it's using half of its reserves, which is roughly $35 million, to make the plan work. The transit agency says lower ridership and a lack of support from higher levels of government have forced it to reevaluate. The TTC board will consider the budget on December 10th. There are new developments in the case of a Hamilton man arrested because of a W5 expose into a global network of men who secretly drug and videotape their intimate partners.
W5's Avery Haynes has the exclusive details on the new charges Brian Hayward is now facing.
Brian Hayward, handcuffed and taken away by police in Hamilton, Ontario last May, busted, is now under investigation in another province. Calgary Police Staff Sergeant Tom Hansen revealing exclusively to W5 that new charges have just been laid.
Brian James Hayward, 37 years, was charged with sexual assault and choking with intent in relation to an incident that occurred in January of 2015 in Calgary, Alberta.
Crimes allegedly committed a decade ago when Hayward and his ex-wife Chelsea Davies lived in Calgary. Chelsea first went public with her story in W5 Sleeping with the Enemy.
I woke up to him strangling me. He wouldn't stop. He had my arms pinned down with his knees. He did not stop until I pretended to pass out.
After Hayward's arrest in Hamilton, where he now faces 60 charges involving more than a dozen alleged victims, Davies contacted Calgary police with fears there could be other victims in Alberta.
I want it to be public that we did live there for an entire year. A couple of those months we had separated and I was not there, so that time is completely unaccounted for.
Davies says they lived in Calgary from April 2014 to May of 2015.
There is a possibility that there may be other victims, but there's nothing actually to indicate anything other than our concerns that there may be some out there.
Meanwhile, in Hamilton, still no charges in connection with the alleged drugging of Hayward's 11-year-old daughter following a visit with him in 2023. Hayward remains behind bars and has not yet entered a plea in the charges piling up against him. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Hamilton.
This afternoon, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced new economic lifelines for sectors hit hard by U.S. tariffs, with a specific focus on Canada's steel industry.
CTV's Judy Trin has the story from Ottawa.
After enduring half a year of Donald Trump's 50% tariffs, Canada's steel industry is teetering on the edge.
Our order books are not being filled up at this moment because nobody's investing. It's such a real perilous time.
We must protect our workers and our industries who are most exposed to U.S. tariffs.
The Liberal government is introducing new measures to reduce the amount of foreign steel. The countries that Canada does not have a free trade agreement with will face lower quotas. Steel from countries like China, Taiwan, India, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates will now be limited to 20% of what they sold to Canada in 2024. The government estimates that could boost domestic steel sales by $850 million. Other countries with free trade agreements will be capped at 75% of what they sold last year. But U.S. imports won't be capped. But all American steel products will continue to face 25% tariffs.
This government will do whatever it takes to protect our sectors and not just protect them, but to help them reposition for the new global economy.
The government will also subsidize the cost of transporting steel and lumber by rail across the country. Internationally, when it comes to big defense procurements like submarines, Canada will continue making Buy Canadian a requirement.
We will absolutely make sure that there are steel and aluminum and sometimes, depending, lumber requirements, because we need to protect jobs in these tariff sectors.
Those were the carrots, but there's also a stick. The government announced it will end remissions or refunds for Canadian companies impacted by U.S. tariffs by January 31st. Mark Carney also said that he spoke with President Trump last night and that he will be headed to Washington next week as part of FIFA World Cup events. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
We're following a developing story out of Washington, D.C., where 2 U.S. National Guard troops were seriously hurt in a shooting this afternoon.
The suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the 2 National Guard members.
So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
There's no word on a motive yet, while the suspect and the 2 National Guardsmen from West Virginia remain in hospital. National Guard troops have been stationed in the U.S. Capitol and other cities in what the administration has presented as a crime-fighting mission. Several judges have ruled the deployments are unlawful, but President Trump has requested that 500 more troops be sent into D.C. while appealing.
And U.S. President Donald Trump says he's sending one of his top envoys to Moscow to discuss the U.S.-backed proposal to end the war in Ukraine.
We're having good talks. We started with Russia. We're having some talks with Russia. Ukraine is doing well. I think they're pretty happy about it. They'd like to see it end.
Trump said he would send Steve Witkoff to speak directly with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This comes after it emerged that Witkoff advised a senior aide to Putin on how to pitch the U.S. president on a Ukraine peace plan. The comments were in a transcript reviewed by Bloomberg News. The White House characterized Witkoff's interaction with the Russians as standard negotiating procedure.
The latest push for peace comes as Russia continues airstrikes on Ukraine. At least 18 people were injured overnight in the country's east. The proposed U.S. peace plan would see Ukraine handing over territory in its east to Russia. It will also require the country to reduce the size of its military and prevent Ukraine from joining NATO. European Union leaders say it's clear Moscow isn't actually interested in halting its invasion.
An immediate and unconditional ceasefire must be the first step to ending the war. But right now we see zero indication that Russia is ready for a ceasefire. Russia is not winding down its military machine, but ramping it up. We still need to get from a situation where Russia pretends to negotiate to a situation where they need to negotiate.
Both Romania and Moldova said yesterday Russian drones had crashed on their territories. And today, Moldovan officials displayed one of the recovered aircraft at its Foreign Affairs Ministry, where it had summoned Russia's ambassador to protest the incursion. He argued it's not clear where the drones came from. The incursion into Romania prompted NATO to scramble jets in response.
To Gaza now, where Israel has handed over 15 more bodies to Palestinian officials. The exchange took place a day after Palestinian militants returned the remains of an Israeli hostage killed during Hamas's October 7th attacks. The bodies of 2 hostages are still in Gaza, and the militant group says it's determined to uphold its side of their truce agreement. This comes even as Israel and Hamas accuse each other of repeated violations of the deal. Turkish, Qatari, and Egyptian officials met today to discuss the second phase of the ceasefire, which would include deploying an international stabilization force in the territory. Meanwhile, Israeli security forces launched a new military operation in the occupied West Bank. This is in the northern city of Tubas. The local governor told Reuters Israeli forces had detained at least 22 Palestinians, with some residents ordered out of their homes. Israeli officials said they were acting to thwart what they called terrorist activity. The military push comes as violence by Israeli settlers against Palestinians in the West Bank has also escalated in recent months.
At least 44 people are now confirmed killed and nearly 300 others are missing after Hong Kong's deadliest fire in nearly 3 decades. Flames and smoke are still visible several hours after a fire broke out at the 32-story residential towers. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, although authorities noted the towers were covered in flammable bamboo scaffolding. Local media in Hong Kong are reporting 3 men have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. Meanwhile, the death toll from flooding across Thailand has now risen to at least 33 as helicopters rush to evacuate people trapped by the high water levels. Several parts of the country were inundated after heavy rains, including some areas which received more than 330 millimeters, the most seen in 300 years.
The Olympic flame has begun a journey which will take it all across Italy ahead of the Milano Cortina Winter Games. Bad weather in Greece forced the flame lighting ceremony to be held indoors. It also led to organizers using a backup flame, which was sparked during Monday's rehearsal. Over the next few months, 10,000 runners will carry the torch across Italy. It will arrive for the opening ceremony of the 2026 Olympic Winter Games, which runs from February 6th to the 22nd.
Coming up, it's being touted as transformative. The Princess Margaret Cancer Center Foundation gets a $50 million donation. You'll hear from the generous donor and how all that money is going to be used.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, lower temperatures are creeping back in and snow will soon be in the forecast. If you use winter tires, have you applied for your insurance discount? And if you have new all-weather tires, does the discount apply to them too? I'll have my reports. That's just ahead.
Well, as we continue to build a mountain of toys, it's worth mentioning that some areas will have a mountain of snow to clean up by the end of this week. Less likely for us here in the GTA, but here's a look at some of the snowfall totals we are expecting. Traditional snow belt areas could pick up anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters of snow. Some areas will, very localized areas, will even get close to 50. We'll see less than that, way less than that in the GTA, but gusty winds, problematic and causing reduced visibility. We have a very special guest to introduce you to now. This is legendary Canadian figure skater Elvis Stojko. Elvis, thank you for coming out tonight to Toy Mountain. Why is it important to you to be a part of something like this?
It's super important for the kids. I remember being here in Legoland as a kid growing up to have toys on Christmas morning. It's everything to see the children light up and to help parents when times are tough. This is amazing. So we wanted to be part of it. My wife and I wanted to come out and support and let people know that this is happening with the Salvation Army, and it's a phenomenal thing.
Thank you for the toys that you donated. Let's talk about your tour that you kick off next week.
Yeah, we got the Christmas tour, holiday tour. We start out in Nova Scotia, coming through Ontario, Kingston, and Sudbury, and we're super pumped for that as well. It's a small tour, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Congratulations, all the best with it, and thank you, Elvis Stojko, for helping us build a toy mountain. Lots more to come after the break. Stay with us.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Temperatures are dropping, and if you're someone who uses winter tires, hopefully you've had them installed, as you'll need them soon.
Insurance companies offer discounts to drivers who use winter tires, but there is some confusion over which ones are eligible for reduced premiums. Here's Pat Foran with a Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Michelle and Nathan. By law, insurance companies must offer a discount if you use winter tires. It's not a lot, usually between 2% and 5%. There's a new type of winter tire you can leave on your car all year long. Some companies offer a discount for it, and some don't. It's the busiest time of the year for tire shops as many drivers switch over their all-season or summer tires to winter tires. There is also a new type of tire growing in popularity called an all-weather tire. It's a hybrid which has the attributes of an all-season and a winter tire. In one tire, you can leave them on your car all year long.
They can be driven on year-round. But they have enhanced snow traction, and they've become popular because then now you don't have to switch between your all seasons and your dedicated winter tires.
When it comes to winter driving in the tire business, all-season tires are considered good, all-weather tires better, and dedicated winter tires the best. Most all-weather tires come with a snowflake in the mountain symbol, leading to confusion over exactly what a winter tire is. This vehicle has a brand new set of all-weather tires. They even have the snowflake in the mountain symbol. But depending on your insurance company, some will give you the winter tire discount and some won't.
They're not the same level that snow tires are.
Aviva Canada gives a 2% discount for dedicated winter tires, but not for all-weather tires.
We only provide the discount specifically for the snow tires, the winter tires, not the kind of all-weather tires that you're speaking of.
CAA says under its guidelines, all-weather tires are eligible for their 5% discount. A spokesperson said if all-weather tires are marked with the three-peak mountain snowflake symbol and you have 4 installed on your vehicle, they qualify for the winter tire discount. When Ontario brought in the discount rules 10 years ago, it said look for tires marked with a logo of a peaked mountain with a snowflake. The Tire and Rubber Association of Canada told CTV News this would be for the insurance companies to comment how they recognize winter tires. If you have all-weather tires, you should check with your insurance company. You don't want to say you have winter tires if you don't, because in the event of an accident, it could void your claim. And to get the discount, you have to have your winter tires installed at a certain time. Some companies are November 20th, others are December 1st. You also have to leave them on until a certain date. Some are until March 31st, others are April 15th, so you have to check. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Our Toy Mountain campaign is in full swing, traveling all across the GTA tonight in Vaughan at Legoland. Big crowd of kids, lots of toys, and Elvis Stoico to boot.
Yeah, everybody seems to be there, and it's so much fun to see actually kids giving other kids a toy. Lindsay.
Nathan and Michelle, I can't hear you too well, but I agree with everything you said. It is a fabulous evening. We are here at Legoland. This is such a special destination for us to come to on our Toy Mountain campaign. This is Gingy, one special guest right here who's made an appearance today, and another wonderful guest. We have Daniela, General Manager of Lego Canada. You have been a part of our Toy Mountain campaign for how long now?
It's been over 20 years already.
Wow,
yes.
Wow. And this is our 30th campaign, so that makes you a longtime supporter. Thank you so much for that. Why is it so important for you to be a part of something like this?
Well, it's very important for the Lego company as a whole to really bring play and joy for every kid, and especially in the holiday season, right? So we really, really, really want to partner with everybody that helps us bring the Toy Mountain to as many kids as possible.
Well, thank you for that. And you have brought a very special, a very sizable donation tonight. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so this year, we are very happy to be able to donate over $75,000 worth of Lego sets. Wow. So that we can gift as many kids as possible.
You've built your own mountain of Lego toys here.
Yeah, it's a big mountain.
Daniela, thank you so much. That is absolutely fabulous. Mark, I want to bring you in from the Salvation Army. Tell me which area of Salvation Army you work with.
We're on Yorkwoods Gate and Jane and Finch community, just close by here, and just working within the community, helping families who are in need this year.
And you're going to be distributing toys as early as next week.
We start distribution this week. We're still registering families, and we're going to be giving out, so far as registered, over 3,000 toys will be leaving our building.
And you know, we're always looking for gift ideas for tweens and teens. I think Lego's a pretty good choice, no?
Lego is an absolute wonderful choice for especially those tween years, 10 to 13-year-olds. A great gift, and so we're so thankful to Lego for their generosity to us.
Yeah, we're thankful for all of you for being here tonight. And we have to talk a little bit about the weather. We do have some active weather to deal with over the next couple of days here. Let's get to what you need to know, even starting tonight. It's looking a little bit active out there. Snow squall watches and warnings in place. Environment Canada changing the way these advisories are set up just a little bit. So we have an extreme watch in place for the areas in orange, and the areas in yellow you see there, including Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and Guelph, a moderate risk with snow squalls over the next couple of days here. As for the winds, that's been a big story today. Wind warning in place for Niagara, special weather statement for the city of Toronto. Gusts around 70 kilometers per hour expected to continue through the rest of the night tonight. Here's a look at what those winds look like over the next couple of days, changing from a southwesterly to a westerly wind, and then eventually a north wind through to Friday. So that's going to make it feel a little bit cooler out there. It's also going to contribute to the lake effect snow that we are already seeing on the satellite and radar. See the areas in blue? Yeah, that's a changeover to some wet snow. Still some rain in many areas too. This is a big low pressure system as it circulates and the winds kick in off of the Great Lakes. We call that the lake effect machine. We expect to see some measurable snow in many areas. For the GTA, it's less the amount of snow and more the fact that coupled with these strong winds, visibility could be reduced. There's tomorrow morning at about 9 a.m. West end of the GTA looks to be impacted, but these lake effect bands are going to oscillate and move around a little bit. Perhaps the east end of the GTA being impacted Friday morning, and then certainly for areas south of Georgian Bay and downwind of Lake Huron, you can expect to see snowfall accumulations as well. It is 4 degrees right now at Pearson Airport. It's significantly cooler in places like Windsor and Sudbury, only 0 right now in Timmins. Overnight tonight, you factor in the winds, it's going to feel like -7 at the coldest point of the night. And then tomorrow, we'll look at what you can expect. Daytime high 2 degrees, below seasonal, cooler than we were today, certainly, and still quite windy with those flurries as well. Here's a look at tomorrow's highs. As mentioned, colder than normal, colder than we were today as well, but overall not a bad looking stretch. And as we take you through what you need to know in your 7-day forecast, we do see calmer conditions into the day on Saturday, a bump in temperature for Sunday, 4 degrees. That could lead to a little bit of mixing. And then it's going to be chilly, but we will enjoy some sun for the first few days of December. Again, we are building a mountain of toys here at Legoland Discovery Center in Vaughan. Look at this mountain of donations. We're so pleased with this. And I just want to point out this absolutely stunning Lego snowman over here. Francis, check this out. This is so cool. What do you think, guys? Are we doing a good job building a toy mountain? I think so. I'll send it back inside to you, Nathan and Michelle.
A $50 million gift from philanthropist Peter Gilligan will create the world's largest research center focusing on early cancer detection.
We get the details from our health reporter, Pauline Chan.
Donor Peter Gilligan helps flip a switch to light up a sign for the new research center that will be a world leader. The Mattamy Homes founder says he lost a brother to cancer, but he believes this is the turning point in the battle against the disease.
So we're gonna launch some rockets at cancer that just weren't around even a decade ago, and that's why I think that it's a great time to make the investment in cancer research, because I think we're going to have a great return from it.
Dr. Raymond Kim says we've known for decades that early detection is the key to survival, and that is why the new program will focus on detecting and treating cancer in its early stages. One new technique involves analyzing the blood.
This technology is so sophisticated that by using certain analytical methods that's called epigenetics, we can figure out where in the body that these bits of DNA are coming from. And by using this technology, such as liquid biopsy, we can find their cancer earlier and intercept it even quicker.
Luana Locke lost her sister, her mother, and was diagnosed with breast cancer herself before learning her family had Li-Fraumeni syndrome, a genetic condition that vastly increases your chances of developing cancer.
It has meant loss and devastation, and as cliche as it sounds, empty seats at a dinner table, but a lot of empty seats.
But research into early detection at Princess Margaret has changed her interpretation of the word cancer.
It still knocks the wind out of you, but very quickly now we're able to pick ourselves up and turn that into a fight.
I had a 9-centimeter cyst on my left ovary.
Olympic ice dancer Piper Gillis was diagnosed with stage 1 ovarian cancer while competing in 2022. She was treated, and today she is still on the ice preparing again for the Olympics.
Right now, 90% of cancers are curable if they're caught early. That's a big percentage.
The Peter Gilligan Center for Early Cancer Detection Research will be based here at the hospital, with many top researchers still to be hired. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, you can tell by today's forecast, wintry weather is quickly approaching.
And Union Station has unveiled its annual winter roller skating experience. CTV's Jessica Smith paid a visit.
Rolling into the holiday season.
Union really is an ultimate destination, both with roller skating, but also shopping inside, free giveaways, live music performances.
Union Station has brought back TD's Toronto Winter Union with one of the main draws, the Union Winter Roller Express Rink.
It is all ages except for our Saturday nights. We have 19-plus winter mixers, Saturdays from 6:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Other than that, it's super family-friendly.
It's absolutely wonderful. I love just how central it is, being, here in Union Station and seeing community come out.
The skate rentals, gear, and lessons are free to help first-timers in a separate area beside the rink so they can suit up.
A helmet, wristbands, elbow bands, knee band, and roller skates.
And hit the rink.
Why is it so fun? Because I like rolling.
What's been the hardest part so far?
Trying to balance.
With the main rink open to everyone to move and groove. You can lace up and get your skate on 7 days a week here at Union Station. And this goes all the way through until January 18th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Jess. And after the break, condo sales plunge. Find out just how many condos were sold in Toronto last month.
Apple is about to become the world's largest smartphone maker. It hasn't held that title for more than a decade. B&M Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has the details.
Apple's new iPhone 17 is propelling the company to regain that title and beat Samsung for the first time since 2011. The 17 is being snapped up by consumers in the U.S. and China, two key markets. Apple will ship around 243 million iPhones this year. Samsung, about 235 million. This is coming from Counterpoint Research. It means Apple will end up with just over 19% of the smartphone market. Samsung, just over 18.5%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.23. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.65. Western Canadian Select is down to 45.34. And the TSX gained another 279 points today for another record close, moving over 31,000 for the first time. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
A new real estate report shows just 54 new condo units were sold across Toronto last month. That figure jumps to 248 when looking across the entire GTA, marking a 2% decrease from the year before. Overall, new home sales sank below last year's record low for October. The findings were compiled by Altus Group on behalf of the Building Industry and Land Development Association. Build said the figures underscore a need for more government efforts to reduce the cost of building new homes. And looking at the housing market nationwide, experts are predicting a possible rebound next year. RE/MAX shared its projections for 2026, forecasting a nearly 3.5% increase in sales and a slightly bigger drop in prices. According to the survey, 10% of respondents plan to buy a home in the next 12 months, up from 7% from earlier this year. RE/MAX links the possible boost to growing supply and lower interest rates, helping bring more potential homeowners off the sidelines. All right, let's go back to Legoland and check in with Lindsay and see how that toy mountain is shaping up. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Nathan, we've had a wonderful night here at Legoland Discovery Center, and our toy mounting campaign is just getting started. If you want to join us out on location, tomorrow night we are going to be at CF Markville, and then on Friday at the Toronto Premium Outlets. Don't forget, it's Black Friday, so while you're doing your shopping, maybe pick up a new unwrapped toy for a child in need here in the GTA. And if you want to find out more about this campaign, make sure you head to toymountain.ca. Stay with us, CTV News. We'll be right back.
Back to Legoland we go in Vaughan, where Lindsay Morrison, the toys are piled high tonight.
Yeah, Michelle, and I'm joined now by the 18th Willowdale Scouts. These guys have been absolutely amazing tonight. Show me your toys that you're donating. Look at all these. And I just want to ask one of you here, how does it feel to be a kid helping other kids on a night like this?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you want to say to everyone watching? You want to wish them a happy holidays?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much for
6-7.
Thank you for your donations. Had to get that one in, of course, too. Okay, I want to come over here and speak to you just for a second, Carla. Thank you for bringing your crew here tonight. How does it feel for you to be a part of Toy Mountain yet again?
Yet again. I've lost count how many years. I love it. I love seeing that we teach our beavers how to share and take care of the world, and the cubs to do their best, and scouts be prepared, and it's part of what we teach them, to give back, and everyone deserves a chance to have a toy. And some of them brought their favorite toys that they weren't on their list.
Yes, so they've done amazing tonight. Just before we wrap up, I want to take one more look at our 7-day forecast just to show you what's in store for the rest of, the week and into the weekend. Could be a little bit snowy around here, and temperature-wise, we are going to start to cool down a little bit as well. We are well on our way to building a toy mountain! Can everyone give a big wave back to the studio? Oh, wonderful. Okay, and just before we give it back to you, Michelle and Nathan, I just want to say, I want to talk to the Salvation Army one more time. You guys have come here, you know how important this is to help for kids, to see kids helping kids. So what do you think of this showing tonight?
Seeing kids bringing toys for their kids is special. It's beautiful, and we encourage more and more to do that because we want kids to say, I care about other people, and I want to love other people, and this is a great way of doing that.
There's going to be quite a few people shopping over the next couple of days, Gina. We're encouraging them to shop for who? What kinds of toys? What age groups?
Age groups 11 to 13 are the toughest age groups to buy for, but we're seeing Lego is one of the greatest gifts to buy, as well as makeup kits, curling irons for girls, as well as craft kits and games, board games, always great for kids.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a wonderful night here at Legoland as we build a toy mountain. Good night, everyone. We'll send it back to you. Give a wave.
Thank you, Scouts. Oh, the spirit of giving is alive and well. I can see the 6-7 trend is still alive and well as well. Thanks, everybody. That's it for us. But you can join Omar Sachedina at 11 tonight. He's got your national news, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and on ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.